Hi, this is Chris Ripley with the Strategic Marketing Group, and today I want to talk about optimizing images for your Facebook page. Dimensions, tips, a little bit more. This is an infogram that PostRocket, which is a service that helps you maximize the posts on your Facebook page, is put together, and I thought it would be a great tool to share. So how to optimize images for your Facebook page, size, that sort of thing. So I'm just going to scroll through it and talk a little bit about it and how I feel about what it says. They're using this example of Neil, who's an astronaut, an aspiring Facebook marketer, and we're going to talk to Neil about what you should do to make sure your images are perfect on Facebook and the best way to handle your images. First thing that we're going to talk about is EdgeRank, and lots of people might not know about this, but EdgeRank is an algorithm used by Facebook to determine where and what posts appear on an individual user's news feed. So, as Google tries to make sure that when you search, you find what you're looking for. I mean, that's the bottom line on what Google tries to do for us. Facebook hopes that when you go on to Facebook, that you'll find information from the companies that you like, from your friends, whoever it might be, that you're interested. And they have three variables that determine what shows up on your news feed: affinity, weight, and time decay. So affinity would be how much you've been interested in that company or person's content in the past. So if you've got a friend and you constantly like what they say on Facebook, that's going to mean that there's going to be more of a chance that things will show up in your news feed. The weight would be what others think. So if other people liked it, have they shared it, that type of thing. And so when something has been liked and shared a lot, there's a greater chance that it'll show up in a news feed as well. And then there's time decay, which basically means that they say that after 12 hours, your Facebook post is dead. So newer things are going to show up more likely than older things. And part of this has a function, certainly, of how often we're on Facebook. If you're on Facebook all the time, you're probably going to see more stuff. But if you're not on Facebook all the time, and a friend of yours posted something 3 days ago and you haven't been on for 3 days, there's a chance, probably a good chance, unless you really have a strong affinity to that person, or it was a real popular post that lots of people liked and shared and that sort of thing, chances are you're probably not going to see that. So if you have people that you particularly follow and you often miss what they post on Facebook, you're just going to have to check them out whenever you can. So EdgeRank is really important in understanding how and why things show up on your wall. So, what does, when we're going through Neil, to think about it now, what does optimizing images have to do with EdgeRank, and why does optimizing images even matter? And, this is another slide that I thought was really critical. Getting stuff on the news feed is hard to do, and it's hard to do on your personal account, and it's even tougher to do on your business account. So you really have to make sure that the content that you're putting out there is good. What they're saying here, it's 30 times easier to get into Harvard than it is to get into the Facebook news feed. So nobody's ever really known. In 2007, an engineer told InsideFacebook.com 1 in 500 possible stories make it to the news feed. That was 6 years ago. It certainly changed a lot. One of the key things that you'll find is that photo posts dominate the news feed. So basically, they're saying that about half the posts are pictures in the news feed and contain pictures. So that would be something that's important to know as well. And certainly if you're using Facebook for marketing, that's really important to know. This has grown pretty rapidly. Photo posts aren't the only images that need to be optimized, though. There are tons of other images like your profile picture, cover photo, link preview images, all those things. And we're going to get into all of those things right now. Use of photos and showing up in your news feed. In other words, Facebook is weighting them higher. And some people have speculated that because Facebook bought Instagram and they think that photos are really important, that's why they've given photos a higher weight in the news feed. Here I'm going to go through talking about how you want to optimize your images. And we'll start with photos. You want to make sure that you don't put a pixelated image like you see right here. This is terrible. You want to make sure also that you get the right size. So here are some recommended sizes that you want to use. Generally recommended on Facebook, and this is what we try to achieve. I have a group of companies. We have about 35 offices of this one company that we do Facebook posts. And we try to make them 600 by 600 whenever we can, because that gives us a little bit more space to get in. The folks here recommend 552 by 414. So, this would be a good thing to write down here. Scale your images. If your images are bigger than 425 by 157, Facebook is going to change them. So you got to make sure that they're going to look good. Okay, and you want to make sure that, it says here scaled down images will look better than scaled up images, but try to make them the right size if you can. The other thing to remember, link and text posted with your photo may overlay the photo on the news feed. Okay, so this is what happens when you put a picture up or you put a post up, but you don't get to see all of it. And it's one of the things that drive me crazy. So you want to make sure the overlay is kind of eliminated. And sometimes what I'll do is actually post a picture and make sure that it looks good or not. And then if it doesn't look good, I'll take it down and work with it a little bit to make sure that you're seeing what you want people to see. So make sure that, that you review this, and I'm going to put a link where you can get a copy of this infogram after this, so you'll know where to go to get it. But make sure that when you put photos on Facebook that you do your best to make sure that they're going to look good when people see them. That's probably the big rule of thumb. Your cover photo. The key thing on cover photos, and while they'll accept a 399 pixel width cover photo, you want to make sure that your cover photo, and this is especially true for a business where you want to use it as a marketing tool, 851 pixels wide by 315 high. And if you make them that size, they'll fit perfectly. We've all done it, especially on our personal page, where you get a nice image that might look good and you put it in there and you can manipulate it a little bit to get in. And certainly on your personal page, I think that's the way to go. But if you're doing this on your business page, you want to try to make one 851 by 315 and then fix that as you'd like it and then drop it right in, and you won't have to do any editing at all. So, and the other thing to remember on this is that cover photos cannot include more than 20% text. And basically how they do that is they actually divide your cover photo into five rows across and 5 rows up and down. And if you are in more than 4 of those boxes that are created by that grid, then you have too much text. So I don't know what they'll do about it, though. I've seen so many that are loaded with text and they don't go away. So while they say that it can't include more than 20% text, if you've been squeezed out on it, please let me know, because I've never seen it happen, and I see lots of companies that violate the 20% rule. And it's not like it's carved in stone here or anything. The other thing on your profile picture, rectangular images will be cropped to fit a square. It's always a square photo. Now, they're saying that 180 by 180 here is perfect. Now, it's perfect most of the time, but I recommend leaving about 10 pixels of space going around your whole profile to make sure that it doesn't get cropped at all. I recommend that you do 10 pixels. So maybe you make a 170 size image and then make the canvas 180, and you'll have that little bit of extra space that'll just be white space, so nobody will notice it that much anyway. And one of the things that they recommend here, don't try to change your profile picture often or drastically. Change your cover photo, but your profile photo really, or your logo, however you're going to do it, really should be part of your branding. The other thing, and this is something that I think that people don't think about that often, is link preview images. When you go to put a link into a post in Facebook, it brings in a short blurb about the page, and it'll bring in some images. And you have the option of picking what image that it might be. So if you're going to do that, make sure that you pick an image that relates to the article that you're posting the link to. So that would be another little tip here. And just like your profile photo, this is cropped down to a square. Check out what happened. And this really here is what they're talking about here. If you have the main thing to talk about here, if you have a blog and you're putting images on your blog and then you're posting that blog post to Facebook, you're better off putting an image that's 154 by 154, and then when you go to post it to Facebook, it's going to fit in there perfectly, and you won't have to worry about it being cropped at all. So I think that's an important point to make. So that pretty much wraps it up. Neil's real happy. He knows a lot more about how to optimize the images on his Facebook page. And thank you, everybody, for listening. I'm Chris Ripley with the Strategic Marketing Group. If you'd like to learn more about how you can manage your Facebook page and how you can get more value from your social media marketing, just click on the link here and you'll be directed to my book, Online Marketing 101, and get a free copy of my book, Online Marketing 101. Thank you.